matters. We now move on over to the Middle East, where the displaced Palestinians fled Gaza City overnight, moving southwards towards after Israel forces have ordered the residents of the city to evacuate to the south. The Israeli military said that it was opening an additional route for 48 hours that Palestinians could use to leave Gaza City as it stepped up efforts to empty the city of civilians and confront thousands of Hamas members. Let's take a listen in to what some of the civilians had to say.
الحين أنا يعني ما فيش مكان أروح عليه، ما معيش ولا خيم ولا معي إشي ولا حاجة. هاي زي ما أنت شايف إن 4 أيام وإحنا نمشي، إحنا في الشارع هالحين، لا خيم ولا مأوى ولا أي إشي. أنا مش بطالب من كل الجهات المختصة إنهم يقفوا معنا يساعدونا، يعني إحنا تعبنا، عن جد تعبنا إحنا. فيش ولا أي نوع من مقومات الحياة. يعني أنا بتصحي الولاد من النوم بدي أعمل لهم براد شاي، فيش مية، بدي أعمل لهم فطور، فيش شيء، بدي أعمل أشتري لهم خبز، ما فيش شيء. يعني فيش أي نوع من مقومات الحياة. يعني الواحد حياة هنا معدومة، يعني إحنا عايشين ومش عايشين ولا إشي. هاي بطلعنا بس الشنط هدول تبعت الأواعي، بس شنطنا طول الليل. يعني هي كلهم عيانين عندهم بشكوا مغص من شدة البرد. فيش لا في فرش ولا في حرام ولا في إشي زي ما أنت شايف. لا ماء ولا مي لا أكل لا شرب لا إشي يصدرنا أنا وهالبنات. يعني بكفي. إحنا بنتمنى من كل الدول ومن كل الشعوب العربية إنهم يقفوا معانا يحنوا علينا. يعني بكفي 2 من الحرب وإحنا في النزوح.
Meanwhile, the most serious escalation in Lebanon in recent months, the Israeli military has issued an urgent warning to the residents of several villages in southern Lebanon, ordering them to immediately evacuate specific homes and surrounding areas. We are now joined by Jordan Cope. He is a Middle East expert and he joins us live from Dallas, Texas. Jordan, thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. Let's talk about first this Gaza offensive that has started just over the past couple of days, the ground offensive, of course. Gaza City is home to an estimate of around 1 million people. The IDF now thinks that around 350,000 people have left. There is fears of the remaining population that if they do leave, that they will not be able to return to their homes. Do you think that these fears are justified, given that there are reports that Southward, where the Palestinians are being directed to go, there is talks of short supply and even worse conditions that they are currently facing in their homes in Gaza City?
This has not been the first operation in Gaza City since the October 7th war began, when Hamas invaded Israel, killed 1,200 people and took 250 innocent people hostage. People have returned to the Gaza Strip, to Gaza City throughout the war. And even though there have currently been evacuations for 350,000 people in Gaza City, it's currently being reported that Hamas is trying to keep civilians in, to use them as human shields and to prevent warfare, and to protect their own and or cause civilian deaths in the process as war ensues. So there have been efforts to evacuate people down south into areas that are considered safer. As you mentioned, a humanitarian corridor has been created. And in the south of Gaza, there is some operating centers under the territory of the Abu Shabab militia, where some civilians have been located and have effectively been granted a safe haven. So this operation, even though war is always tragic, there has been significant effort put on trying to spare civilians in this process and to finish off the Hamas fighters, reported of at least 3,000 in that area, to make it as easy as possible for Israel to deal with them appropriately.
Okay, Jordan, and of course, finally, we've seen those reports in Lebanon where the Israeli military has ordered certain villages to evacuate. What is the threat that still comes from Lebanon? Of course, there has been a ceasefire declared, but what threat still remains there that Israel might be being prepared to strike?
There's a lot of actors at play when it comes to the current Lebanon situation. It's not simply a matter of Israel and Lebanon. It's a matter of Lebanon within Lebanon and the United States. The United States has made very clear that Hezbollah must dissolve within Lebanon. It can no longer exist as a parallel identity to the Lebanese government. It cannot control checkpoints anymore. It cannot have weapons and continue to operate as a terrorist organization with militant capabilities and in the past army capabilities. They previously had 150,000 rockets that they had pointed at Israel. They significantly contributed to the October 7th war. And the United States has made clear in both Lebanon and also Iraq, where there are also another set of Iranian-backed militias oriented on the Shiite Islamist side of the spectrum, such as the Popular Mobilization Units, that both of these paramilitary terrorist organizations must dissolve. They cannot continue to interfere in their local affairs. And the Lebanese people and Lebanese government also want Hezbollah to dissolve well. And so since Hezbollah has actively refused time and time again to dissolve, to surrender its weapons, like some Palestinian militias have to some degree at least in recent days, there will be action that will have to be taken. The Trump administration has made clear that it will. The question is, through which channels is this happening now? Now, Hezbollah does still have some influence still in the south. And in recent years, they had so much power in Lebanon that they could actually veto legislative efforts introduced by the Lebanese government. They effectively ruled Lebanon, and these efforts currently under place could be part of a bigger picture to make sure that they do not revive and resurrect again.
Yes, Jordan Cope, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure to get your insight on these issues. Well, that is all that we have time for, but we will continue to